It's a very French aristocrat type of move there with your champagne.
I figure I got to get into character or something. I'm not really sure how to handle myself around an actual...
It's very Johnny Depp piratey, like, oh, love.
Well, that's the
Pardon
theme
me, here we
of
go.
today's show. And with that in mind, welcome aboard the Funny Boat Podcast. I am your host, Captain Boomies. With me, as always, is the broker with the beard, Ed Pickering. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How about you?
I did a good thing for you.
You did. You did do a good thing for me. Shockingly enough.
I'll never do it again.
At least we got that cleared up. No, had a good showing today, and they said they had watched your video on the Vita 33, the Captain Boomies video. I was very impressed.
Well, that's awesome.
So it seems to be moving forward nicely.
Awesome. I'm
so good
glad
job.
to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a lot of noise right now.
Okay.
Because I should have thought about how much noise this jacket makes before we started this podcast, but I didn't.
Well, you know.
Okay, well, oh, good. Now I feel more
you look
piratey.
very nautical.
Yeah,
Yes.
That helps. Anyway, like I said, the theme of today's show, we get to talk to an actual pirate captain. I'm so excited.
I am as well.
Introduce you to Captain Jim from Urban Pirates, and welcome aboard the podcast.
Ahoy there,
Jim.
thanks. Appreciate the opportunity.
Oh no, we're just so excited. I actually got to go on the Urban Pirates pirate boat. Sorry, Ed, you didn't get an invite.
I didn't get
This was a super exclusive version of the pirate cruise that normally happens. But I figured we should start out talking about what the actual, what most people get when they jump on the pirate boat here in Baltimore. And then I would tell you about my super special cruise. So stay tuned, suckers. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what your typical cruise looks like?
Well, we have two different styles of cruises. We have a family cruise, which caters to normally kids and their parents. And then we have the one that I attend most of the time are the Grog cruises, which are 21 and above, BYO, bring your own grog. And they do.
That's awesome. It's the honestly cheapest bar in all of Baltimore.
You had me at grog.
Yeah. We actually have a couple of people that bring their own brews of grog.
Okay.
And they are anxious to leave it with us. And it's really good, which makes me really nervous to drink.
So I know grog's usually a mix of different things.
It's kind of like a fruit punch. Is what their version was.
Like a sangria-ish,
Yeah. No, it's always rum and fruit juices.
Okay, like a rum punch.
Yeah, like a
Nice.
rum punch.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
That does sound pretty good.
So that's the adult version, but I want to talk about the kid version again because I actually have always wanted to do the kid one, except I know you won't let me. And that's because you have an attack boat.
We do. We call it Cannon Dodger, and the kids love it. Yeah, so they get to fire the water cannons twice at the Cannon Dodger. We call Mad Dog Mike.
Oh, okay. So
It's got a name.
it's kind of like a whole little skit deal going on.
The whole cruise is all orchestrated. It's all it's geared towards kids and adults. There's a lot of stuff geared for the adults as well that goes right over the kids' heads.
I love that. I don't know if you're picturing this correctly, but imagine a really caricatured boat that's got all the wooden painted panels so that it looks like extra piratey, and then tons of flags and masts flying, and then a rail of water cannons that these kids get to use. And then the crew is all dressed as pirates, and you get to go on a cruise all around Baltimore Harbor. Which does have a speed limit, so parents and drunks can be safe.
That's right.
I loved when I got on board seeing the decor.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't stop on just the outside with is that a wrap job? I'm not even sure.
No, it's we had an artist paint it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
It does look amazing. Yeah, custom paint job.
Holy cow.
Nice.
So what is
And he freehand painted the whole thing.
freehand?
Good gosh.
That's why it looks so
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It looks like I don't know if you've ever seen, but some yachts are getting away from actual varnished rails. And they're now doing that hand-painted rail. So sneaky.
I'm leaning towards it myself.
Gotta get that feather brush in there. Oh man, I'm looking at this wooden table we're sitting at right now, and I'm like, I could never paint this. Like, I have no patience for any of that. I'll varnish. That seems easier to me. Anyway.
So, how long does your typically
it's
run?
it's an hour and a half. They have a half an hour of boarding time, which we let them on the boat. The kids run crazy. We name them. We give them a pirate name, a little pirate tag, and then we also have the tattoos, the pirate tattoos.
Oh,
so it's
I'm doing the kids one.
They're all waiting in line.
yeah, we're
all,
totally doing the kids one.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. So we do that for a half an hour because nobody can show up on time. So we tell them to show up a half an hour before we leave the dock, and sometimes they're running for the boat as we're leaving.
Oh,
It's pretty funny.
that's so mean to the kids.
Nope. I if I see them, I go back.
Oh, you do?
I do, and the crew hates it.
God,
I did that once in Singapore. It was kind of close to the
Yeah,
gangway.
those were not the same kind of kids.
Not the same kind of pirates.
Terrible. So you might not know this, but Ed actually is saltier than his polo shirt would lead you to believe. He's done some big crossings on some very big boats.
Nice.
Big boats, yeah.
With some very salty sailors, and I pity him all the time because I got to just do big white private yachts
Right.
and look good the whole time doing it.
It's very nice.
And pay somebody else to do the varnishing. So it was great for me.
Yeah.
But we do both have an obsession with like classic piratey stuff. But somebody was telling me the other day that it really only was a very small chunk of time, like classic Jack Sparrow pirate stuff.
Yeah, small time, and then they put the crackdown on that because...
Well, but meanwhile, Baltimore has an amazing history of, well, privateerism.
Privateers, yep.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to call pirates because they still went out firing cannons and sinking ships.
You just had the government's approval.
That's right.
And I think it's really special that Baltimore has its own pirate ship that's so visible out in the harbor.
We are very visible. It's fun watching when you drive by all the docks. It's just instant people taking pictures. I can't imagine how many pictures we're in. It's just it's instant.
You're in a few of mine.
And I'm always up at the helm, and I say "arg" to myself, but I never say it out loud because they can't hear you.
Oh, that's pretty good. So tell me about I of course once whoever was sitting next to you when I was doing the pirate boat thing with you offered me a job when he found out I had my license, and I would love to, but I also really like my weekends, so I'd be terrible at picking up shifts. But I'm so intrigued by the fact that it's got to be one of the hardest captain jobs I've ever heard of.
So I've had 2 captain jobs besides doing a couple of private charters. I did the water taxi
Okay.
and the pirate boat. The pirate boat is head and shoulders more fun. The water taxi is monotonous. It's just one stop after another. So your docking skills become fantastic. And then you get the occasional drunk, and that becomes more of a problem than the pirate boat, because the pirate boat, you usually have all his friends that are trying to help you help him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart. Yeah, drunks in a gaggle
Yeah.
probably take care of
And I
each
usually,
other.
a lot of times I just say, hey, if I call the Coast Guard and they don't know it, I just say, hey, the federal rules are different. They're going to take you off the boat. And they just pipe down right away.
I bet this Coast Guard would. I love
Yeah,
the Coast
yeah.
Guard around here. They're really helpful.
I've had on occasion had to call them, and they'll come behind the boat and just flash in their lights, and no problem.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, problem goes away.
That is so clever. I love that. Dang, Okay, I'm a little jealous now of this pirate boat captain job. Let's talk about the costumes. Do you wear one when you're...
I do. I don't really like it, but I do because, I definitely want to be part of the crew. I don't really have to wear one, but I do. I used to wear a big long sword, and it was an authentic one, so it was sharp.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool.
That's very cool.
I used to
That's
use
too
it.
cool.
I used to say it was my personal protection on my boat, and I would just bring it to work with me. But and then I wore a hat for a long time, and then I decided to shave my head because I didn't like wearing the hat. And now I had an earring when I was growing. When I was 18, when in the 80s I had to have an earring, so now I get to wear it again.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. But the black shirts and the ripped clothing and. Usually the shoes are the hardest, but a couple of us just don't wear shoes.
Oh.
Even better.
Yeah.
Okay. This job is sounding better and better
It
all the
is
time.
really
Actually.
cool.
So do you personally have a lot of interaction with your guests? Or are you more solely oriented towards navigation?
I have some interaction. When they're boarding, I greet everybody. I have a clicker to make sure we have the right count. And then I do an opening speech, Captain, these are the rules, rule number 1, the most important is stay in the boat. And then I say, because you really don't want to go for a swim in Baltimore Harbor.
No, it's
that is so there's really the 2 rules, and the other one is be kind to our bathroom.
okay.
Oh.
But you have to tell them that, because if you don't, I'm in there unclogging it.
Yeah. No, we talk about this, I would say, every other
Yeah.
episode. We talk about the head.
Usually pretty enthusiastically.
But we make a big deal about it, and
Yeah.
this year and last year I haven't had any incidents. Knock on wood.
Good luck to... No, I don't know if you know this, but I'm very good luck. And when you hang out with me, my good luck spreads to you.
Okay.
So I have
True.
a feeling you're going to have a fabulous season.
I hope so. How can you not have a fabulous season? It's always I have not had a day where except when it's raining, that I have said I don't want to go to work. It's fun.
Do you run rain or shine?
Rain or shine. As I get a little older, it's a little less rain.
Yeah.
25 knots is our max
Okay.
for gusts. I've gone out and
It would be miserable on that boat if it was gusting.
yeah,
Ugh.
and it is.
Ugh.
So, but
Especially if it's wet at all.
the wetness sometimes, if we're leaving and it's not raining, I'm out, and then eventually they just have to give in and have a good time. Mm-hmm. And I would say more times than not, they have a really good time, even if it's raining.
What kind of questions do people ask you on board?
All kinds. I get it. The biggest one is, can I drive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen you. You let people drive.
I do. I don't go anywhere. I stay right next to them.
Oh, no, I saw
Yeah.
that too. But
Yeah,
I'll
I
be back
let
in a
them
few
drive.
minutes. You'll get a sandwich.
The ones that drive, they're like, "This is the best day of my life," and I'm like, "Come on."
no, wait.
But yeah, it's I drove a pirate boat, and then I have a certain picture that I make everybody look over their shoulder and all the flags, and they're driving, and I can't tell you how many profile pictures I've probably taken for people.
Well, there's a lot to that. I mean, because we are in the inner harbor of Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to school in New York, so I had classmates that had never driven a car before because that was completely foreign to them. I would imagine a lot of your guests have never been on a boat before.
Yes, many.
Yeah. So to be not just on a boat, but on a pirate boat and get to steer
Right.
and the whole pirate
it
thing.
is,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm ready to sign up.
You can definitely tell when I let them drive, they are ecstatic.
Yeah.
And they're very happy. So, and that's what Urban Pirates really is about. I mean, everybody has a good time.
Ed's going to renew his
Even
license.
the crew. I mean,
That's it. I'm going back.
we really don't mind coming to work.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me a little about the crew, because what an interesting job description that must be. First of all, you have to be willing to, one, wear costumes, two, deal with the public, both young and old, and then be a drug tested mariner. Like, that's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we find I think we found that most people stick it out for a long time. You either really love it or it's just not for you. And I've been here 13 years.
So it's hit and miss. It's
Yeah.
They're either 100% or not at all.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense because
And if you're not with it 100%, you're not getting the shifts because you can tell, and the crew that we're entertaining can tell too.
oh yeah.
So you definitely want the full enthusiasm,
Well, I mean the tips must make a big
and that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just like, hey, welcome aboard, or ahoy there, you can tell.
That's so funny.
Or to really get your tips up, you say ahoy, ahoy.
Yeah, that's right. I will try that on Friday.
Oh my goodness. I do fantasize about picking up some shifts on the pirate boat every once in a while. She's a pretty big boat. Is she what tonnage is she?
We run on a 50-ton license. I can't tell you exactly what the tonnage
actual
is.
tonnage is, but she's under 50.
Yeah. She's 54 feet and 18 or 19 feet wide.
Okay. And you have to bring her into a very populated dock all the time. Is it ever squirrely, especially because you've got actors as deckhands? Or?
No, we train a lot.
Yeah?
For rope handling, man overboards. We do that a lot. So
What's the training schedule? Like, that's so cool.
once a month we do man overboards. And then, when new hires always get trained on the ropes, and they have to stay behind a seasoned pirate.
Wow.
For throwing ropes and tying lines and stuff.
My husband still makes us do man overboard drills. So I'm glad to hear that he's not totally just compulsive and insane.
Well,
Love you, honey.
You want
He's
that
planning for when you.
Yeah. You do want that to be second nature.
Yeah.
And we've had an incident where everybody knew exactly what to do. So
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was
that's
going to ask, have you ever had any unplanned man overboard
had a
drills?
couple of people jump.
Probably on the Grog cruise.
Yeah. How'd you
Yeah,
guess?
I was just a shot in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one, so we've had a couple right at the dock, and you're going to smash them.
Yeah.
As you're getting there,
Right
they
at
just
the
jump
dock.
off right at the dock. And then we had somebody right out by Domino Sugar first week of April. You know how cold that water is?
Hold on. I need
Wait,
you
did
to back up and,
No, a couple
and
years ago.
describe this to me. So you are literally, you've got your lines tied
No,
to,
they're not
okay.
tied yet.
So not
We were drifting
coming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Coming
even worse.
Oh my God. I cannot think
and
of a
that's-
scarier thing to happen.
It's not a boat to slow down very fast.
Right.
And you have to see when that happens too.
Oh, I hate. And you don't have pods or anything. You're
No
not.
pods, no.
You don't have the joystick like the boat I was driving the other day. So you're maneuvering with, is it single rudder or twin rudder?
Twin rudders and twin inboards.
Oh my goodness.
The old boat had IOs in it. And they were diesels too. So that handled a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot faster reaction.
Interesting. Oh man. Okay, so talk to me again because I'm now in the headspace of, oh my God, somebody has gone overboard. And I assume you went overboard on the dock side, so like between the boat and the dock.
Yep.
Was he just too excited to get off the boat?
No, you can tell. You can almost tell because they're like looking at you and
By the
they're
way,
all whispering.
I'm assuming it's a man.
Yes, yes. We
Whoa,
have it.
whoa, hold on here. He's probably a broker too, I would guess.
Had a beard too.
Yeah, you got to watch those guys.
Gotta be careful of the brokers. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, you have to stay on your toes. You're a captain. You're responsible.
Holy cow. I'm just, so I assume your crew yelled man overboard, or did you actually see it happen?
So I've been on board for two. So the one that I saw, he was at the bow. We were coming in. We were almost tied up, and he jumped, and then he couldn't find the ladder. So there's a ladder, 50 feet away.
Yeah, I know exactly where it
Yeah.
is.
So at that point, and he's swimming, you're like, I hope you really smell bad from the water,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this does lead me into, the water is not
The rabbit hole.
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to talk about, I got to go on Salvage Arc, who we interviewed
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple of podcasts ago. about magnet fishing, and I got to go on his pirate adventure magnet fishing tour. And I'm sorry, Ed, there was not enough tickets for you. And I wasn't giving up my spot.
I had stuff going on, but I was really wanting to be there, Evan. I'm so sorry I missed it.
Anyway, so we Captain Jim was the captain that day, and he was putting us into these amazing spots, and then we were throwing magnets overboard and hauling insane stuff out of the water, all while he held us in spot,
Right.
which was incredible. And we had such a good system set up, and I was really proud of everybody for
it worked really well.
for getting it done. And we did haul out a bunch of funky stuff. Man, the Ferris things that end up in this harbor is very interesting. But my absolute favorite part, though, was then we went back to the dock and we picked up the young people.
Okay.
So then we picked up the kids, and after we tested whether or not this actually works, whether you can actually put magnet people on this boat and then run them around.
Oh, so it was like I see.
So it was two parts.
Yeah, okay,
so we
gotcha.
first had to test it out.
Right.
And then the second part was bringing the kids on and seeing if we could coach them through it and not have anybody die.
Right. But it's still very piratey. I mean, like when you had the boarding parties and that sort of thing. So and then but you get a scooter or something else.
And even the adults were excited pulling stuff up.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so much
adventure.
fun.
Yeah.
And it was BYOB. Don't know how those people let their children. Anyway. No, it really was. It was magical. It was absolutely magical. And I love anytime I get to go on a boat ride and I am not the responsible party, because I felt 100% confidence in your crew. The way you came into the dock, I was like, oh, I'm comfortable already. Crack that open. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It was fantastic. And I hear you guys are open to doing all kinds of cool stuff during the season.
We're looking to expand a little bit this year. We're going to try to do some dinner runs to a restaurant.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we're open to the magnet fishing again. We've been tossing some different ideas around.
That's awesome.
I want to do a, you know how you have painting at night at the bars?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the Inner Harbor would be a great place to do that.
Oh my God.
We're having a meeting soon.
Brilliant. I hope
All our ideas.
Oh man, that would be
Well, where can folks send their inquiries for?
UrbanPirates.com.
UrbanPirates.com.
Yep.
You guys
if you see one that says Broger with the beard, high priority.
Okay.
This is so cool. I mean, I just think there's so many possibilities because you really are so skilled with that boat that you can go way more places than you currently do.
I go a lot of places.
Oh my gosh.
So other than the Inner Harbor, have I seen you in Rock Hall?
Probably on my boat.
Okay. I was wondering if at the Pirates and Wenches.
I was there once, but I wasn't on Urban Pirates.
Okay, gotcha. Has that Urban Pirate boat
They did
been
it when
there?
they first started before I was there.
Okay, years ago.
And I heard it was an adventure.
Well, that whole weekend has changed.
Uh-huh.
It's much more family oriented
Right.
than, I mean, that was the initial, I think,
I know
deal,
nothing.
but it quickly veered off the tracks.
Yeah.
It was like a weekend long grog cruise.
And I think that's what our crew did too. So I think that's why we didn't go back.
The place that shall not be named.
You're right.
Did you?
No stories untold.
Yeah.
What in your career led you to becoming a pirate captain? I
always loved boats. Grew up on boats. My dad always had a boat. I had full access to them once, I was probably 13 or 14. I was on them all the time, and actually, I got divorced and I moved really close to here, and I needed something to do, and I didn't have my captain's license yet. So I got a job as a mate on the water taxi, and I was like, I can drive better than these guys. So I got my license.
You know, that's always a good way to push you. I'm pretty sure that's why I got
and
my
then
license
8
too.
years later, pirate boat came, and I asked my boss, I'm like, can you get me on that? I just want to drive it once, and he didn't. So I stopped over there. And now I left the water taxi and I went to Urban Pirates.
It seems like such a ball.
It is.
You know, of the captain jobs, it does seem
Don't
like
tell my boss, but I always say I would do it for free. It really is fun.
We won't tell anybody.
It really is fun.
So when you first got into boating, was it here on the Chesapeake or
Magothy
elsewhere?
River and over by Kent Island. You know, little 16-foot runabouts. And just, you know, the next boat's always bigger. So,
hopefully.
yeah.
Says the broker.
Says the broker. If you have a 16-foot boat and you're looking to upgrade.
I love it so much. Okay, so my worry is if I keep asking you more questions, I'm going to get you in trouble by having you talk about things that happened on that boat, because drunk people are drunk people. And it'll might reflect poorly on the experience. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how safe I felt, even though I had been drinking. And it's normally really hard for me to relax on somebody else's boat. But I really did feel, I felt great. I was totally creeping on your safety equipment and stuff like that. And then somebody...
I think there was a picture of you while underway.
There is a picture of me wearing a life ring. And I feel a little bad because the person that handed it to me didn't realize it was attached to your EPIRB.
Oh.
And so I was like, I was wearing it, but I was dancing in a very funny way just to make sure I didn't pull on that line at all. Because I didn't want anybody having to do an emergency anything. I can't think of anything more stressful in Baltimore Harbor than having an EPIRB go off.
Well, you were on that trip. You were one of how many people? Like, what's your average size group?
So the boat will hold 89 people. We have self-regulated it. We cut off cruises at 60. Smart. And then when we get, can I bring a friend or whatever, we'll go to 70. But after that, it's just too many people. And we don't allow anybody on the upper deck during cruises. Smart. Except for your group.
That was very nice of you. Yeah. Thank you. It was a very VIP experience.
Yeah, nice.
But also, we would have been perfectly happy not giving us access up there.
Because there's plenty of room, yeah.
Yeah.
But we felt a lot of the people that attended that event were boaters.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the people that attended that event were boaters, but also a lot of the people that attended that event are social media people. Right. And you haven't even seen half the stuff that's like being currently edited and processed.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's cool, man. It's so cool. I'm really excited to see some of that stuff. I've gone through some of my footage. If you want to see some of that, I'll throw some of it over top of this interview. So if you're just listening to the audio version of it, go to the YouTube channel as well and subscribe to that, because I do sometimes put visuals on top, and we are recording this live so you can see our charming faces.
Ting. Can you put the little sparkle
we'll make
part
that
in there?
happen.
That'd be great.
We'll make that happen.
So one question I like to ask. So you were a boater before you were a pirate captain. Mm-hmm. And did you only boat here in the Chesapeake, or did you go elsewhere? Or
I grew up on Long Island in the summer times.
Oh, what part?
Mastic Beach.
Okay.
Montauk.
Yep.
My grandmother's family had a summer house there. Not on the water, but, people had boats that they trailered. So it's kind of where I learned that I liked boats. And then I don't remember how old I was when my dad got his first boat, and that was over on Kent Island.
Okay.
And then they bought a house on the Magothy, and boat was there.
It was accessible.
I was on it all the time.
Yeah. Nice. So Do you have dreams of going elsewhere? Like, do you have a boating destination in mind at some point?
Yep, the Caribbean.
Okay.
Virgin Islands, probably the American Virgin Islands, because I plan to semi-retire from my real job in 2 years. I'll have 20 years there. I'll have a pension. And then I want to go somewhere and drive a boat and do stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
Full time. Until I can retire.
Right.
So, and I have a boat that's going to take me there. So I'm good to go.
Nice. Awesome.
He's living in the life.
Do you need crew?
I have room at the moment.
Well, in the beginning of the interview or episode, we were talking about, who doesn't, everybody's wanted to be a pirate. And literally I grew up in Rock Hall. It's kind of a pirate town without the fantasy weekend. But, but that's what drew me to the water. My whole family made a living off of the waters, watermen and whatnot. But it was reading the books about the pirates and watching the movies and the Disney stuff and all that. That lore. That's always been for me. But it's interesting to see what other people what they want to do and where they want to go.
I never thought about being a pirate. Never read books. I saw a pirate movie, Nate and Hayes. My brother and I watched that movie over and over. We know we probably still tell the script, word for word. Never thought about being a pirate. And like now, somebody, if I do something wrong or whatever, I'm a pirate. I even put it on applications now.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's it usually gets me whatever I want because it starts a conversation.
That's awesome. Do you get to have like a pirate email address as well? Sorry.
I could.
I was going to say Urban Pirates has got to be a good domain handle to have. Captain at. Man. Well, I got to say though, Urban Pirates, when I first heard it, I wasn't entirely sure what it was. And it wasn't until I saw the pirate boat and was trying to find a pirate boat in Baltimore because I had taken pictures of it as it went by that I went, oh, what is that? And then I fell in love with the name. I was like, this makes perfect sense. Yeah. We are in the middle of a city. You've got skyline all around you all the time until you head out to Fort McHenry.
Right.
And then it opens up.
Right.
And now you've got this beautiful harbor that's very open, and there's this historic fort behind you that makes for just the most amazing pictures because the sun is always setting just behind it, and it looks incredible.
Right.
And I'm insanely jealous of your Instagram because of it.
Yeah. It's not hard to get good pictures. It's just the boat looks great. The harbor looks great. Never do we have anybody that's sitting there with a mopey face on it. They're always, giving the yar or whatever, drinks in their hands, smiling.
Do you ever have, so you mentioned you had the Mad Dog Mike, was that correct? Do you have the cannons ever unleashed on some innocent bystander?
That has happened a lot. I actually do that on purpose.
Right.
When I first started, they didn't let me drive in the Inner Harbor because the police would call the company and say, they're getting people at the Inner Harbor wet.
Right.
And my boss was like, you get one call a year and then you have to stop. And now the police aren't doing a whole lot down there. So I have not had the police called on me, and every trip I get people wet. But they always come to the side of the boat saying, come splash me.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And we do, but I don't know if they know we're shooting harbor water.
Oh.
I think they figure it out probably.
And like some of them drink it, it's disgusting what people do with that water.
Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh. It is a lot clearer than
it used to be.
Even a few years ago.
Yeah.
I've watched it get cleaner and cleaner every year, and it's really exciting. And I lots of props to the folk that are doing the clean up the harbor stuff. And so now I'm going to plug the fact that I get to talk to those people at the Annapolis Boat Show. And I'm also going to be at the DC Boat Show. So if you're having any fun listening to me or Ed, like he's also going to be there. You should come by. Check us out. There's stuff in the description of this. And I just have one more pirate question.
Oh, okay.
Are you...
You didn't say that right.
Oh. Arr.
Yar.
Arr. Come on. This is what I live for. We got to do it right.
Oh, no. Well, now I've forgotten. now I'm just doing pirate jokes in my head. What about the...
Are you? You said, are you?
Oh, are you going to screw this up? Because you can't remember what it was that you were going to say, and now your brain is totally blanking. But I've never had this happen to me when I had a ship's wheel in my hand, so maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just pretend for a minute.
A quick moment. Do you do pirate jokes, I would imagine, or something like that?
I don't normally. The crew normally does. I think I've heard them all.
What's your favorite one? Like, we're talking pirate/dad joke extraordinary.
So we get a lot of, what's the pirate's favorite letter?
Okay.
R, or, and I usually say, pirates can't read. That's just, because they're all different. They always have different punchlines.
Right.
I just say, pirates can't read. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's a good one. I remember what I was going to ask, and it was about your boat. And are you a sailor?
I am not a sailor.
Okay.
I can sail. I have sailed. When I grew up on the Magathie, we had Wednesday night races. So one of our neighbors won all the time. So I did learn how to sail. I couldn't tell you the lines, but if I had to sail a boat, I could sail it. Mm-hmm. But other than that, the sails on Urban Pirates are fake.
Fake but good. Fake but good. Still gives you them good feels.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. I'm good. I'm going to go have some more champagne because I can't believe what a brain fart I just had.
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
No, was it? Good.
I'm sure it was. There's no doubt in my mind.
I like blaming you. This works out great. This has been the Funny Boat Podcast. Bon voyage. Oh my gosh.
Sorry about that.
I only have one pirate joke, and it's the one about the ship wheel.
Let's hear it.
Oh, the pirate walks into a bar, and he's got a ship's wheel in his pants. And bartender's like, hey, man, you got a ship's wheel in your pants. And the pirate goes, I know, it's driving me nuts. You're welcome.
I might use that one.